Good evening. A man sentenced to 6 years in prison today for crashing into and killing a teenager in front of his Henderson Middle School while driving almost 100 miles per hour. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. There were nearly 200 people in court to support the victim, including his family and his friends. Joshua Piguero also inside the courtroom. Joshua, was the family satisfied with that sentence?
Brian, Denise, the family of 13-year-old Rex Patchett says they're satisfied that Jose Marmolejo received the maximum sentence, but say there needs to be tougher penalties. They shared how Marmolejo destroyed their family when he decided to drive recklessly near a school.
On March 7, 2022, I was sentenced to life in the prison of all prisons. I was the prison of lifelong pain, the prison of lifelong grief, the prison of lifelong fear.
That statement from Rex Patchett's dad, Jason, was one of 6 given by the teen's family in court. Jose Marmolejo showed no emotion as Patchett's family conveyed their pain.
His body was so brutally damaged that a visual confirmation was not even possible.
The 13-year-old was killed in front of Mannion Middle School in Henderson. Patchett was leaving a friend's house going home for dinner when he was struck by Marmolejo. Marmolejo walked into the courtroom without handcuffs and apologized to the Patchett family.
I'd like to give my deepest sorrows to the Patchett family. I'm so very sorry to everybody.
In the end, that wasn't enough for the 22-year-old to avoid prison time.
I'm not doing this for vengeance, and I'm not doing this to send a message. What I'm doing this for is to try to do equal and exact justice between the people of the state of Nevada and the defendant, Mr. Marmolejo.
Leaving the courtroom in handcuffs, the Patchett family says they can now move on with Marmolejo sentenced.
This is obviously closure in this phase of the process, right? My wife and I are going to be grieving. Our children will grieve the rest of our lives. We will take this pain with us forever.
Now, Marmolejo was sentenced to 6 years in prison and has to serve a minimum of 2 years. After that, he's eligible for parole. Brian?
Joshua, thank you. Rex Patchett's father say his focus now will be to share his story with lawmakers in the hope that lawmakers can consider increasing the penalty for drivers who hit pedestrians.